Right, buddy, welcome back to the latest Manchester United news. Now we'll be talking the latest on Zirkzee's potential exit. We've also got an update on Maguire new deal, Lisandro Martinez returning to training today, as well as some other interesting stories which we'll talk about. But I want to start off by talking about the Harry Maguire new deal. It came in yesterday, and Chris Wheeler did an article with Nathan Salt in Daily Mail, and they said this: a firm decision over Harry Maguire's future is yet to be made. Although United are in regular contact with his camp, formal talks have yet to take place and there's no offer on the table. Any prospect of him taking a pay cut would depend entirely on the length of his new contract being offered to him. So listen, on Maguire, I think we know his importance in this team. I think I underestimated his importance in this team. I think if you look at Maguire, he's at times been one of the best centre-backs, but at times again has come under intense scrutiny. Now, I think on Maguire, again, someone who is part of that leadership group at Manchester United internally in the squad, is very valued as well. And I think he does have an importance in this squad. I think you look at his availability, look at his consistency as well. And I think being in the back three has obviously helped him. I think if Maguire was continuing to play in the back two, I just don't think it'd work. And I think a back three, that central centre-back, is really looks more comfortable. And he has been someone who's been relied on by Ruben Amorim in big games. He has big moments for Manchester United. And he has started some important games for United. I mean, away at Anfield is probably one of the biggest games United's had. He started that. So he does, I can't remember if he did start the Europa League final, but he does start big games for Manchester United. And again, initially, I was probably against keeping Maguire, but I think looking at his experience, and again, you can't just only have players in the squad due to the experience, but you look at going into next summer, we're probably going to lose a lot of experienced pros. I think Casemiro's probably going to go. You look at Bruno Fernandes potentially going. They are two very key players in this squad with a lot of experience, and I think keeping Maguire for maybe another season probably won't be the worst idea, and that's something that United would have to do. It would obviously be on a huge wage cut though, but I think Maguire an interesting one. He's had, I mean, the last probably 2 years have been very, very good for Maguire at United. Particularly last season and this season, he started off very, very well and had some clutch moments. So, would you say he's on merit he's deserving a contract? Probably. Now, you look at Zirkzee's exit. Nuno Espirito Santo has made it clear to West Ham hierarchy that he needs at least 3 new signings in January, including a striker. One of those potential options is Zirkzee, who is desperate to leave Old Trafford. Zirkzee is still working hard to get more game time and help the squad. Why he's always been positive with his teammates and is a really appreciated figure in the dressing room. He isn't creating any problems and hasn't said anything to Amorim about issues, but his situation must be monitored because he's not playing much and doesn't want to miss out on the World Cup. At this moment, Zirkzee is focused on United and trying to get more space. He's training at his best, but if the situation doesn't change by December, this story could be one to follow. Now, listen, look at Zirkzee. I think at best, he's always going to be a squad player. I think you look at when you do spend over 130 million on two of one of the best Premier League number 10s last season, it's always going to be very difficult for Zirkzee. And I think with Zirkzee, you can understand his ambition to play football. I totally respect that 100%. And I think that's why he wants to leave. And that's a valid reason why he should leave. Now, again, for me, I would really value him as a squad player. I think he can definitely add a lot. And towards the end of last season, he did have some big impact on this team. Now, you look at how Ruben Amorim monitors him. Again, players like Zirkzee, the likes of Mainu, maybe even Aiden Heaven at some point could potentially be asking for a loan because their minutes are very scarce. And I think Zirkzee, he's definitely a quality player. And I think he can add a lot to this team. And in the top teams, you need depth. And I think Zirkzee is good enough to be a squad player at Manchester United. Obviously, with Manchester United playing 1 game a week is a problem, because if you're playing 3 games a week or 2 games a week, there's more opportunity for rotation, and there will always be more opportunities for, just say we had a League Cup game or Europa League game during the week, you can bring in the likes of Aiden Heaven, a Mainu, a Zirkzee. You can rotate the team. Obviously, not having 1 game a week is a problem, especially with it being a World Cup year as well. So you very well could be seeing Zirkzee leave to West Ham. Again, I think it'd be a good move for him. Obviously, West Ham are not in the greatest place now. They've just bought in Nuno Espirito Santo, but it's a Premier League club. Don't know how long they'll be a Premier League club. They're a decent Prem club. They've got some good players, and I think he'll probably do well there. But yeah, that's that. Now, the last thing. Lisandro Martinez is expected to join his teammates in full training this week after making a more cautious return to action than originally planned. Martinez was due to be integrated with the first team squad last week, as the remaining players reported back from international duty after scans gave him his injured left knee the all clear. As it turned out, the Argentina defender, who has been sidelined since early February with a ruptured ACL, was only partially involved with the rest of the group, but is set to step up his training this week and should make a return to the first team action before the international break next month. So that's good. Apparently, he did take a training session on Monday with the squad, so again, that's something that's positive, with a few academy players in there as well. And I think you look at Martinez, I think his importance in this team is very underestimated. He's a very good ball progressor, which is something that we needed. He offers something different to Luke Shaw. I think he's much more willing to engage in play. He has much more quality, and I just think he's a better player than Luke Shaw. And I think you look at how important Martinez is to this team. Amorim talked about his aggression, his fight, his leadership. We know he has that, and I think he makes the players around him kind of up their game as well. If you see someone like Martinez, who's known for his aggression, which can come across as too aggressive sometimes, but you look at his willingness, his ambition, and his quality to do well for this team, you ultimately have to respect it. And I'd love to see him back soon. Again, potentially he could get a game or get some minutes against Tottenham in 2 weeks' time, but again, that could be very unlikely. But it's good to see Martinez getting back. You don't want to rush it just in case he does get another big injury, because he has had 2 big injuries already. But I'm hoping he'll be back relatively soon. He's generally one of my favourite United players, if I was to have favourites. But yeah, I think he's class. He has so much to this team. You look at his progressive carries. You need one of those centre-backs to kind of do it. And I think Euro, to an extent, last season, he hasn't done as much this season, but he was progressing the ball. But I think his passing, and now we'll have quality players. I'm not saying before he didn't have quality players, but now you have the likes of Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko. These sorts of players you can feed the ball into that we didn't have last season, which will be positive. But yeah, that has been your latest updates. Manchester United news. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Peace.